loves, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. Hi, hello, my name is Loey, and if you are wondering what that creepy little glow over there on my door handle is, it is from a candle that is currently burning across the room. I just realized I moved Dog Skeleton out of the way earlier today and he's not there. This is totally unacceptable. That is so much better. I cannot film without my Dog Skeleton. A lot of you have been asking if I'm gonna change up my background, if you can even call it a background, for the holidays. I don't know, I really love Annabelle. I love my little Mickey Skellington. I love Big Skeleton. I think I decided to just name him Bob. And I love this dog. Today, I know you all were not only hoping for this video, but expecting this video. This is the Dear David update, and I would not normally upload so many of these kind of viral, scary story updates back to back, but it just so happened that everything hit the fan this past week between Teletubbies Facts and now Dear David, and it all happened pretty much on the same day, so I have not had a chance to sleep, breathe, eat, do anything. A lot of you have a lot of thoughts on Dear David, and frankly I do as well. So we're just gonna hop straight into the video, and I'm gonna tell you guys what happened, and I'll tell you my thoughts on it and whether or not we're gonna continue these videos, because a lot of people are calling fake on the story. Really fast, before we get into the video, I'm sorry to drag this out. I want to say a huge thank you for all of the love and support on yesterday's video. That video was filmed when I was highly emotional after literally zero sleep. We were going on 30-something hours at that point. I tried to stay up and edit it, and I just wound up taking a nap, sleeping it off, and then editing it the next day, and I know how upset I looked. I was genuinely upset. The owner of the Teletubbies story and I have now talked, and they have reaffirmed that they are not angry with me. They don't think that I was the reason that the account was shut down. So if you've not already seen that video, Teletubbies Facts is over, and I'll link it down below if you want to go and watch the finale. But today is not Teletubbies Facts. Today is Dear David, and today is Dear David because honestly, Adam posted some really bizarre photos that I really want to show you guys, and I have to talk about. Phil's really mad because his food bowl is empty. I will feed you when I'm done working, my child. I have already given you guys a lot of food today. My guinea pigs are so entitled and spoiled, and it's insane, but I'm obsessed with them. On November 6th, it's been about 4 months since the first time I dreamed of David. This might be long, but stick with me. Last night, I dreamed about him again. It was almost exactly the same as the first time I saw him. In the dream, I saw him in a chair again. I don't have the green chair in my room anymore. This time it was a recliner I've had for years. He was staring right at me, just like the first time. Again, I felt paralyzed and could barely move. But this time, something was different. Also, how weird is it that he felt and saw exactly what he felt and saw the first time he ever dreamed of David? That would seriously spook me out. I still felt mostly immobile, but I could squirm just a bit. I felt more alert. The pigs are talking. I guess they like this story. I could move my hands somewhat. David glared at me, and I dreaded what I knew was coming. He was going to get out of the chair and come toward me, like before. I had to do something. I keep my phone next to me on the bed, and I somehow managed to get a hold of it. I thought, if David is going to kill me, maybe at least I can get evidence on my phone. I started snapping pictures in the dark. Sure enough, he crawled down off the chair and began shuffling toward me. He moved slowly, like it was a struggle for him. I felt terrified, but I kept taking photos. David imped closer toward me, never taking his eyes off me. Soon, I was face to face with him. He started muttering something too quiet for me to understand. I watched as his eyes rolled back in his head until they were all white. I tried to writhe away from him, but I could barely move. I stared in horror as he began crawling up onto my bed, still murmuring something. And that's when I woke up. Same as before, broad daylight, no trace of David anywhere. It's almost routine now, but it was a dream after all, so I got up and went to work. And after a while, the stress of the dream melted away. I wasn't even going to write about this, since it wouldn't really be new information. But tonight, I noticed something that petrified me. I went into my phone to find a picture from a couple days ago and saw dozens of pitch black photos in my camera roll, all from last night. It's better just to show you. Turn up your brightness because they're pretty dark. and then he includes 2 photos. And I'm gonna include them really brightened up so you can see exactly what the photos are. And it's a young boy who seems to have blonde hair and his head is dented. His head is dented and he's just sitting in a chair in the first one, and then in the second one, he's gotten out of the chair and is walking toward Adam. This is the one that made my heart drop, is what Adam said, with a closed-in version of that second photo. And I can understand why, just the way he's staring at Adam, glaring at him, it's creepy as anything. Usually I can come up with some excuse for what's happening, but I have no logical explanation for this. So now I'm sitting here on my couch freaking out. I certainly won't be able to sleep. I just felt like I needed to get this out. I have never, ever had so many people coming to me saying, "Dear David update, Loey, dear David update," because usually I take a little break in between them. I give other videos, I do some fashion, I do some conspiracy theories, I tell some of my own ghost stories, but you guys went absolutely crazy with this information. And I want to cover this, then cover some of the information that was relayed to me in my last video, and clear up some common questions I had in my last Dear David update. So what I think about the photos is that they're so creepy. They're so freaky, and it's weird as anything to see David in the flesh and not Adam's depictions of him. Not a drawing, not, you know, a sculpture that kind of looks like him, not a blob in the air that maybe could be David, like David himself. And I think that Adam knows, and that's probably why he's off of Twitter, he's not active anywhere, that's a pretty big claim to make, and those photos are a pretty big claim to make. At the end of the day, for the Dear David story, if we are looking at Adam Ellis as the main character and Dear David as the freaking ghost who's been haunting him forever, this is petrifying, and I know that. And these photos are one of the creepiest things I've ever seen in my life, but I wanted to bring up some things that you guys had to say. Number one, a lot of you have been calling fake on the Dear David story for a while now, and as much as maybe I had a few kind of issues with the story, I took it for what it was, which is a story, just like I did with Teletubbies Fact. I knew that that one wasn't real, obviously, but with Dear David, I don't know, some of the stuff that Adam said was just so creepy, and I could really relate to a lot of the ghost information and stories he presented, and maybe it's one of those things kind of like with Teletubbies Facts where it blew out of proportion and the story is kind of like gone into a new direction. But these photos are a lot. I want to believe that they're real. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I want to believe that these photos are authentic. And there are some things that people are pointing out to call fake. Number one, in the photo where David has stood up and he's walking towards Adam, it's just really bizarre. His leg can be seen through the covers. And a lot of people think that that means that it's photoshopped, but in my opinion, I don't see how that could be the case. And this is, I'm not saying that the story is true. I can't vouch for Dear David. I really can't. I can't say it's real or not. But it is weird that you see the leg through the covers, and I probably popped up a photo already. But like, if it was photoshopped, wouldn't the leg have just been like airbrushed away? I've personally photoshopped things into my thumbnails. I've done things like that before, not photoshop pictures to make it look like a ghost is in it, unless it's a thumbnail, in which case I do that all the time. You know that ghost emoji looks realistic. But seriously, I think that people are using that as evidence, and for me, it just sort of adds to it being real, because who would leave a transparent leg there? You get what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I think that that's harder to do. You know what I mean? I think that's way harder to do than like edit in someone standing at the foot of the bed. I don't know, that's just me though. That makes it seem like he's like this transparent figure with one leg on the bed or something. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. Someone can correct me in the comments below. Almost everyone in the comments of this is calling fake, is saying that they totally believed it until now. A lot of people think it is a doll. And honestly, maybe it is. I wanted to quickly talk about the statue that was reported in one of the last videos. And one of my subscribers who claims to live in Japan, says that they pass that statue almost every single day on the way to work, and that they've never seen part of the statue with a random person with their head dented in. I haven't found any evidence of the statue really online aside from Adam's photo, and maybe he changed the location of it, which is going to kind of get into my overall theory now about this topic, because y'all know I was theorizing like crazy over Teletubbies fact. I've never really given any theories with Dear David. I've just presented the facts to you and I've let that be that. I, at this point, think that Dear David is an alternate reality game, much like Teletubbies fact was. A lot of you mentioned it was kind of suspicious that Adam was contacted by so many psychics and ghost hunter TV shows and he didn't accept any of them. That is a little bit strange to me too, because I can honestly say, while I would never go out of my way to set up cameras in my apartment because I'm too freaking scared as of what I would find, if somebody offered to come and do it for me, I would 100% do it. And his argument was that it would be sensationalizing it. I mean, I think he's doing a pretty great job at sensationalizing it himself. I love this story. I think he is such a creative and talented person, and the way that he writes is amazing. But frankly, I don't think that I'm taking this as fact, but I also I'm not calling him a liar. I think that this could have been an intentional alternate reality game from the very start. And if it's not, because there's still a part of me that really wants to believe that it's real, like from the bottom of my heart. You know, I know that he works for BuzzFeed, so maybe there's some sort of conflict there, because I know BuzzFeed is insane with their, like, what is it called? Exclusivities. From a personal standpoint, let's say I worked with Dove deodorant. I've never worked with Dove before. No, I did a tweet campaign with them once, but like this is just an example. This isn't reality. This isn't a fact. This is a totally made up example. Let's say I worked with Dove deodorant. Maybe there would be something worked into my like contract that said I can't mention any other brands. Maybe Adam isn't allowed to work with a ghost hunting TV show or some kind of psychic medium where they would profit off of his story. Maybe he has exclusivities with BuzzFeed where he can't talk about this with anyone else or can't do anything with this story. You know what I mean? So I'm not really discounting that. And from like my line of work, I feel like I can believe that. But I also don't know if it's a doll. I don't know what it is. Those photos are a huge claim, and I know that Adam knows that. And that's probably why he's staying off of social media, because he's not going to respond to the insanity that is coming from everyone right now, pretty much calling him a liar. So I am the last person on earth to say that someone's ghost story is made up, because that's what people do to me all day, every day. But I'm gonna keep presenting Dear David to you as the story that it is. I kind of thought about it because a lot of you have been saying for a while now. I mean, there have been people from the very beginning who are like, please don't waste your time on this. Don't make more videos on this. It's totally fake. Whether or not it's a story, like a fictional story, I'm so invested in it and I love this story so much. I'm gonna keep talking about it as long as there are updates. That being said, a lot of you guys have gotten very creative with messaging me with your alternate reality games, especially after Teletubbies fact. A lot of you guys, I think, wanted to give me something else to focus on, and that was very kind of you. I currently have had like, I would say at least 30 different messages on Twitter from people starting up alternate reality games, literally like handing me over the first part of the story. If you guys know of any Twitter threads like this one though that are already established and already have a storyline going, let me know, because we are down to just Dear David updates from here on out. Would love to know what you guys think of this recent update, whether you think this is a fictional story or a real one. I love you all so much and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you guys and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!